There is a proverb that says, even if a lie travels for 20 years, one day the truth will catch up with it definitely. And today, maybe, just maybe, truth is beginning to speak through the mouths of the unexpected. Okay? So for the very first time, fans are agreeing with Karimot. Okay? Remember that name, Karimot? Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing the name very well. Okay? The late Mohbad's sister-in-law. You recall her, right? Okay? A woman often dismissed for her tone and temperament is finally being heard at last. And what triggered this change? You want to know, right? Her recent outburst dragging both Sam Larry and VeryDarkMan, that is VDM, back into the storm. Okay? She's not just talking anymore. This time she brought receipts, okay? She revealed that she has more unseen videos, hidden evidences, videos that allegedly show Sam Larry and his men bullying Mohbad on several occasions. And even if my memory serves me right, at the height of this whole Mohbad issue, there were a plethora of videos that were out there. There was this. I mean, I saw like two of them. So it is not in question whether the guy was bullied by Sam Larry or not. I don't think anybody is doubting that. Okay, so, according to her, it's not just once, not even twice. There are plethora of those videos, from what she's saying, okay? But over and over, okay? She said VDM is aiding a false narrative, and Nigerians are starting to believe her. Okay, I'm sure some of you saw the interview that VDM granted Sam Larry some few days ago. I actually watched that video, and the way the narrative that was being peddled, the impression that was given. That was being given by that interview. For those of you who have watched it, it shows that Sam Larry, I mean, didn't bully him. That is what the narrative that was out there, and which has also created a lot of outrage within the social media, and Nigerians are not having it. And that is why, for the first time, a lot of Nigerians are beginning to go with the thought and mind of Karimot. Okay. So, like I said, let me just say, do you know what? I watched that video interview with Sam Larry myself, like I said, and I actually paid attention not just to what was said, but what was unsaid. The body language of Sam Larry, I was watching out for that. The dodging, the self-defense, that was all I saw. The false calmness, that was all I saw. It didn't exonerate anyone. In fact, if you ask me for my humble opinion, it did more harm than good. That video of that interview of Sam Larry. That is my opinion. Okay? I may be wrong, but I still stand by that opinion that that video did not do Sam Larry any good at all. Instead, it did more harm to him, his personality. Okay? My sisters, my mothers, my daughters, let's call a spade right now. That interview that very dark man granted to Sam Larry, did not clear Larry's name in any way. If that was, assuming that was the intention of that video, that interview by a very dark man, I tell you, the interview did not clear Sam Larry's name at all. It did not give Mohbad's memory peace as well. It didn't give Nigerians closure as well. Instead, it opened up old wounds and poured salt inside it. That was what I saw. Okay? But let's be honest, my people. Even if Sam Larry could not admit legally bullying late Mohbad because of the fear of prosecution, couldn't he have shown some kind of remorse? I mean, couldn't he have humbled himself and apologized, even if it was just for the court of public opinion? Was that too much for him to have done? Because let's not lie, my people. Most Nigerians still feel bitter towards him. And the truth of the matter is that bitterness will continue, probably to the end of this life. Okay? Because you came for an interview. You knew how the mood of Nigerians were at the time, at the height of this whole thing. Now you have an opportunity of an interview that has that kind of outreach, and all you can do is to grandstand and show off, so looking so completely detached from reality. I mean, who does that? And then the twist that shocked us, he said only Zlatan, can explain what really happened in that video. Come on, really? So out of all the grown men present in that room that day, only one man, has the full truth. What kind of story is that? Because I remember one of those videos where Zlatan and late Mohbad were on a wheelchair, and the next thing, I think they had two women pulling that wheelchair. I think it was a shoot or something, and I guess there were other people in that room as well, And if you are saying out of all those people in that room that day, it's only Zlatan, who unfortunately is not talking as at this moment, then I mean, it's funny. It's really funny. And as if to add insult to injuries, Zlatan himself dodged the matter completely. Instead of speaking up, for a fellow artist, for someone we saw as his friend, because even in that video, I mean, to be fair to him in that video, it looks as if he was the one that tried to shield Mohbad, from that attack that day. That is what I saw in that video. So, but for some funny reasons, I don't know why he's not talking. Zlatan himself dodged the matter, like I said. Instead of speaking up for a fellow artist, he posted a music snippet saying he does not speak on things that don't concern him. Don't forget that after that interview, VeryDarkMan had given Zlatan 48 hours to speak up, and Zlatan, what he did, instead of speaking up, he posted a clip of one of his songs, which connotes that he cannot speak on things that do not concern him. But does this matter really not concern him? I mean, I don't get it anymore. But how does Mohbad's pain not concern the same industry you benefit from? A lot of questions, a lot of things are not adding up, my people. And that is why this Mohbad thing, well, let's just pray that Nigeria does not happen to any one of us. Because if it happens, now it's long grammar, story upon stories. Okay? We must ask, why is everyone silent when it matters? Why this selective amnesia? There is even a video of Mohbad himself bleeding with wounds on his body, calling out Sam Larry by name. I also watched that video. That video exists. And I think in that video, he had injuries like cuts on his arm and back or something like that. That video exists, like I said, yet VDM skipped that and focus only on the viral clip, where Sam Larry appeared at that photo shoot. So why is this so? Why is it that of all the many occasions, that this man has been said to have, bullied this guy, why is it just that one that is not the focus of VeryDarkMan, and now insisting that Zlatan must come out and speak? How about the other ones? Who is going to speak for those ones? Why ignore the victim's direct call out? What more do we need? Late Mohbad himself in that video, like I said, that video, I think it was in a vehicle or so, where he was complaining of, I think, cuts at the back, this arm and back. In that video, I watched that video on multiple occasions. In that very video, the victim himself was directly calling out Sam Larry. So what more do we need? What else are we still trying to uncover? The man during his lifetime mentioned this guy. So what are we trying to investigate, for God's sake? And this brings me to the real issues. The question again is, why is VDM doing this now? Why grant this interview now? Why give Sam Larry a platform again when the country still mourns the suspicious death of that young man? Is it a failed attempt at image laundering? Because that's exactly what it feels like just watching that video. And even that image laundry thing, for me, has completely boomeranged. Because I didn't see anything there. I'm telling you, I love VDM very well. truly, I love VDM, right? I respect his voice, his passion, his audacity. He has done so much for this country and spoken up in ways many fear to. But lately, it is looking like he's dancing with the same wolves that tore Mohbad apart. That's a spiritual contradiction, if you ask me. You cannot befriend the tormentor and still claim to be fighting for the tormented. That's not justice. Because even as I speak to you, there are pictorial videos out there showing a VDM partying hard, clubbing with Naira Marley and his crew, and his cohorts. These same people who tormented this guy until he died. For me, that is confusion. And God is not the author of confusion. I tell you, VDM. And I don't know why you have decided to undertake this unfortunate trajectory at this time, considering everything that you stood for, considering everything that you stand for. I beg your pardon. If VDM truly loves justice, if he truly wants peace for Mohbad's spirits, then he must step up or step back from this case. He cannot sit on the same table as those Mohbad named with his own mouth and still say he's fighting for truth. We are sitting, whining and dining with the people that late Mohbad called out. And you are still telling us that you are fighting for Mohbad's, fighting justice for Mohbad. This is, things are not adding up here. I tell you, VDM, it does not work that way. Not on earth and not in heaven. There is a Yoruba saying, that says, when discussing food matters, don't use the enemy's spoon. So VDM, I tell you, you must pick a side right now. You cannot be both sides. It's not possible. That is against the natural laws of nature. Okay? You have to pick a side right now. Because the more he sits with Sam Larry, the more Nigerians begin to question his own integrity. Because just watching Sam Larry in that interview, I felt sorry for VDM for the first time. Almost like he didn't know what he was doing. Because, who is Sam Larry? Why rubbish all the good work you have been doing because you want to please Sam Larry? Because maybe you want to help launder his image. I don't get it. You are more than Sam Larry if you don't know. And the Naira Marleys of this world, you are more than these people. The way Nigerians rate you, these guys are beneath you. And you must know this. And the more it looks like distraction, everything is looking more like deception and even derailment. That is all I saw in that video. And let's talk about Mitchy, the young philanthropist who also called VeryDarkMan out. She says she has nothing to gain by lying. She says VDM played a distracting role by pushing for DNA during the thick of Mohbad's case. And in hindsight, she may not be wrong after all. We need to ask ourselves, what are we learning from Mohbad's death? Are we learning to speak up before it is too late? Are we learning to stop protecting evil because of fame and fear? Let me remind us, the day of reckoning is coming home, and those who had a hand in this boy's downfall will not escape judgment. Because karma does not forget an address. I keep telling people this. Mohbad may have gone, but his cry for justice still echoes. And until truth is served, his spirit may never truly rest. May his soul rest in peace. May his soul find eternal peace. And may we never become the kind of people who silence victims and celebrate oppressors, as we are currently saying. As the Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:17, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked. For there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge everything, in this life. Okay? So this video is not to cast judgment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging anyone right now. I'm not for or against anyone. Okay, I'm simply a voice. Okay, crying out in the wilderness of digital noise, adding my small voice to the conversation that is making the rounds in the social media. Okay, and if this voice finds its way into your heart, then do me one favor: never forget Mohbad, and never let the story be swept under the rug. Because the world may forget, but heaven does not. I tell you, heaven does not. Mohbad didn't die for us to keep quiet. He didn't suffer just to become a trending hashtag. He was a son, a husband, and a father. And no one deserved to be bullied into the grave. Let justice speak. Let truth rise. And let us all sleep better at night, knowing we did not sit idle while the spirit of a young man cried in silence. And with this, I want to stop this video right here because I don't want to become too emotional right now. What do you think about this? Please go to the comment section and leave your thoughts right there. God bless you. Bye bye.